I want to talk about the importance of a healthy gut flora and its connection to our well-being, to be specific, our thinking, our feeling. Most people perhaps don't realize that 90% or even more of the serotonin that we use to process things in our brain is being produced in our guts. And you can imagine if things don't go well in there, then things don't go well in your head. Psychologists know that when there is low serotonin, people get anxious, get scared, nervous, and usually that is caused by an imbalance in the serotonin or by overthinking. And usually people are given medications that reduce your serotonin uptake. They're called SSRI drugs, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, and they slow down that usage of serotonin. If people cannot naturally find a way to slow down their thinking by meditation, for example, or by realizing that their thinking is actually most of the time not useful. But to make a long story short, I want to tell people from my own experience what I experienced when my gut bacteria were very were low and causing me a lot of problems. In my specific situation, I was receiving a colonoscopy last year, and that was maybe late 2017. I got a colonoscopy, and the doctors gave me this medication that you drink. It's a laxative, and you drink it. It cleans your guts, and in order to make sure it really works well, I was actually using twice of that. I was using 2 times the actual required amount to clean out my guts before the colonoscopy, and for hours after that I used a lot of water to flush out my intestines. So not by drinking the water, by actually cleaning things with the water hose. And I actually suppose that I completely overdid that process, and the result was that after the colonoscopy, the day after, I felt extremely dizzy. I had brain fog, I was anxious, I couldn't focus, I couldn't breathe well, and I had no idea what happened. And this kept going on for weeks and weeks, and I couldn't function most of the time. It was so bad, I couldn't focus on the easiest things. And I talked to a GI doctor that I know for a while, and he said, yes, that is most likely not enough good bacteria in your gut. I probably flushed out most 99% of all my gut bacteria, and he said the only way to fix that is rebuilding it by using lots and lots of probiotics, which are good bacteria that your gut needs. Now the trick is, when you take probiotic supplements or foods, most of that gets destroyed by your stomach acid. So you need to really use a lot of that and make sure it gets by your stomach acid. So how do you do that? The most important thing, in my opinion, which might not agree with others, is using probiotics on an empty stomach. First, I neutralize my stomach acid with a glass of water with some baking soda so the pH gets very high. And then I use a large amount of probiotics. For example, these large natural yogurt chunks that are available here in Taiwan, and they tell you what they contain. I'm reading that. It is Streptococcus, Thermophilus, Lactobacillus, Acidophilus, Bifidobacterium lactis, Lactobacillus bulgaricus. So I would take one of these, which is about, I believe it's about a quarter of a gallon, even more, every day, and try to drink as much as I can at once. So most of it doesn't get actually destroyed by the stomach acid. It makes it into my guts. Now when I did this, within days I started feeling better. My mind became much clearer. I started to feel less anxiety. I have to say this was going on for 2.5 months, and I couldn't function in my normal life. Even by conversations with people, everybody would notice something is wrong. And it would calm down in the evenings when the central nervous system settles down a little bit, and start again in the mornings. And another thing you can do, I'm getting this from Germany, this is called kefir. This is actual bacteria that you mix with milk, and you let it sit for a few days, and it turns into something containing huge amounts of probiotics. Another good thing. You can also use Korean kimchi, German sauerkraut. Of course, those things have to be raw, not cooked. And so those are all called prebiotics. Now, what you can also do on top of that, you feed those prebiotics, those good bacteria, those are called probiotics. And what you can do, you feed those probiotics, the good bacteria, with prebiotics. Now I can say it. Prebiotics are foods that probiotics, that bacteria like to eat. And some very easy examples for that are potato starch. You just mix some potato starch in the yogurt, take it together. The bacteria love this, they grow more in your guts by simply adding that. Or you can, for example, eat bananas with the yogurt, which also is an excellent feeding ground for good bacteria. And within a few weeks, my thinking became clear again, much clearer, actually even better than ever before, I believe, thanks to that method. And that was the only way that helped me to recover. No drugs prescribed from the doctors, nothing would help. And I refuse to take medication mostly anyway, unless I really need them. So if you have problems with fogginess in your brain, especially during the day and when you have to do a lot of work and focusing, it could be that you have not enough probiotics, or not enough of the necessary probiotics, or you have too many of the bad bacteria. That can also happen. Unfavorable bacteria overgrowth. Then you need to also fix that. And this can cause all kinds of problems. You can open a can of worms with a bad with an overgrowth of bad bacteria. For example, those bad bacteria, they can produce too much gas, and the gas may not always come out at the right end. It might also go back into your stomach, pick up stomach acid, digestive enzymes, anything travel up into your throat when you have a lot of burping. That's usually gas from the stomach. And then it can cause burning in your esophagus, in your throat, by carrying up too many things. So the right balance of bacteria in your gut is absolutely crucial for well-being of your whole body.